has changed. Sorry. So that model has kind of changed. Now, Seed Company works with SIL translators. So we work with, so most of the projects that I work with in PNG, I work with an SIL advisor who is in a language group, because there's maybe not enough not enough people, nationally led projects that are coming up. But with things like internships, we hope that those start happening more. Okay, so kind of the last, I know this has kind of gone on a little bit, and I'm sorry for that. The last thing I wanted to do was just hopefully be able to give you an understanding of how you all are connected to either to Seed Company, to Global Bible Translation, and to people in the United States who are praying and giving money to Bible translation. So, right, so you are all here on the field, right? So you're doing your translations. But then at the other end, you have churches, you have investors. So you have investors, people giving money. You have prayer partners that want to be connected to the field, right? They want to give. They want to support Bible translation. Not all of them have the capacity. They aren't able to go as linguists and as Bible translators to these communities, but they have resources like they can pray. They have, they can organize churches to donate money. They have money themselves that they want to give to Bible translation. So Seed Company kind of comes up right in the middle of this, and I'll talk about this next arrow in just a second. But Seed Company kind of comes up in the middle of this, of being able to connect the people in the United States and around the world that have resources that want to give to Bible translation, and you on the field that need the resources to do Bible translation, right? So we're that middleman. But where there's a balance, or where there needs to be a balance, is so you all, and it's been wonderful talking with you and hearing what struggles you have in doing Bible translation, because that gives me an idea to then communicate with people in the United States. People in the United States who are, so, we want to know what your struggles are and what you need for Bible translation on this end. But then we want to communicate that with a culture and people who are giving that are business oriented and that are outcomes and impact and they are giving money and giving their time, and they expect an outcome, right? They're very Western. It's a very Western view of projects, right? They want to see, okay, we're going to do we're going to, have a plan, and we're going to get all this accomplished. And so that's why, Seed Company, we have to report to the people who are giving money on all the projects. So at the end of every 3 months, we write reports. So Peter writes reports from all of you, or for all of, not necessarily Peter, for all of you, but he'll send me all the reports for all your languages and the work that you've done to me, and then I report that to the people who are giving money, because they want to know that the money that they are giving is being used for Bible translation. And in working with SIL, we have a lot of trust that money is being spent well, and that that things are getting done. I hope I've explained this kind of well. I want to show you a couple things. An investor report that is given to people who are giving specifically to your project, and also a prayer journal that is sent out to prayer partners all over the world on behalf of seed companies and your projects. But before I do that, are there any questions at this point? And can I explain this a little bit better so that you understand kind of how you're linked to people in the U.S. and to people who are giving money? Are there any questions?
Can you give a little more insight on what presence and incarnation means?
So that would just be like the physical needs of the field, so of translators. So balancing that, because we understand, translators pass away. Like some of your project translators have passed away. Work. There's a typhoon that happens and it stops work. There's COVID that happens and it stops work. There's all these different things that stop work, and that create hardship and struggles. And so Seed Company is in the middle of relaying that information to people who are expecting outcomes because of the goals that we have set. Right? So you all have gone through a plan and you say, we're going to do the first draft of the whole New Testament. Okay? So at the end of every 3 years, we want to make sure that, we want to see that, yes, you have been able to do that. Or if you haven't completed the first draft of the New Testament, we want to, have been in communication to know what are the reasons behind that, so that we can relay that to people who are investing money, so that they don't think, oh, we're just, throwing their money away. We want to be responsible, and we want to be stewards of their money. We are stewards of their money. We want to do that well, and so we want an accounting of what their money is doing. And this is by no means saying you have to do if you don't get your stuff done, that money is going to stop, that support is going to stop, that prayer is going to stop. That is not the goal of Seed Company. We want to know that so that we can work with you to help, right? So if somebody on your translation team dies and you have a new translator that's coming in and they need training, we want to know that so that we can go, okay, we want to get them to a course. We want to help pay for them to fly to Guam so they can work with Paulus or with Peter and learn how to do translation so that they can then be more effective on your team. If a computer dies, we want to know that, and it slows down work. We want to know that so that maybe we can help pay for a computer so that you're back up and running and that you're able to do translation. Yeah. It's all right.
What is the process or procedure of seeking support from you? There's probably one already in place, but to hear from you how it's done to support the Bible translation to keep going or to complete it and so forth.
Yeah, so the process of seeking seed company support. Well, it's different for every language group, right? There's some language group that they don't have any access to an SIL advisor like Peter or Paulus or Ken or Jim or Robin. They might one language group might be so remote that maybe they can get in touch with somebody at SIL that can start working with them and then contact Seed Company. But for all of you, so Seed Company has been working with the Isles of the Sea project since 2011, 2010, 9? So about 12 to 13 years, right? So it would be needs that you have communicating with Peter or with your advisor, and then they would be able to bring those requests and those needs for support to me or to another person on the Seed Company Pacific team. But so for right now, yes, that all kind of comes through me, and then I would work it out internally at Seed Company. Is that okay? But like you all have done already, sitting in some meetings with you and working out your project plan. You said we may need a computer, we may need a projector, we may need some things like this. Like this is all things that Peter and I will work out when we create a project plan for the next 3 years. Okay, so I've taken up too much time already, and it's almost lunch. But I just wanted to show you a couple of things. This is there is a prayer journal that is done by Seed Company every week. Every week there is a new prayer journal, and it highlights different parts of the world. And so you can see in this prayer journal, and this is sent out to everybody who supports Bible translation. So everybody who gives money to Seed Company, everybody who is involved in the prayer ministry at Seed Company, this gets sent out to thousands of people so that they can pray specifically for projects in the Pacific or anywhere around the world, depending on what week it is. So here's a praise report for the Nuku'alono people. This is when you had your dedication. So there was a praise report so people around the world can give thanks to God for another Bible being completed. Here's also a little write-up on the, I don't know how you say it, the UFO?
UFO. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so here's a write-up of praising for the New Testament. And I can't remember if there's anything else. Oh yeah, so here prayer for partners. So here's a specific prayer for Isles of the Sea. So yeah, your projects are being prayed for constantly. There's prayer that's happening around the clock for Bible translation, either organized by Seed Company or by SIL. Very very prayed for. And then I want to show you this. So this is an investor report. So this isn't fully published, but this is kind of the final draft that they would have published. So this is for Q3, so this ended, so the quarter that ended at the end of June. So all the work that was done in the last 3 months, so April, May, and June. So this is a report on that. So Peter had sent me a report, and then I enter in information into an internal like company website, and then all that is taken and shared with people who are giving money and people who are praying. Yeah, so you see impact stories. So talking about the typhoon in May, that kind of slowed work down for everybody. And, you know, bringing up prayer points about, you know, what has been happening and what investors can pray for. Yeah, so every 3 months this goes out and updates our people, or updates investors on what is happening in all of these projects. So I hope that, you know, gives you a good understanding of Seed Company, how you're connected, who you're connected to, and that we support you in your work, and you know, we want to support you as long as you're willing to work on Bible translation. We want to help with that. So, thank you.
Hey, Grant, thank you very much for leading us through the big picture story of Bible translation. And, you know, it gives us even more of a sense of how we are